ShinRobjira.
Today we're going to be talking about the Bandai The Godzilla collection, Hedorah. Released in 1993 alongside 11 other figures, Hedorah finally got its shot at a vinyl avatar, and, well, aside from the obviously differing mold, not much has changed, so let's take a look. First off, I know I'm supposed to be talking about paint, but plastic coverings on the eyes, and the eyes look like stickers? It really was a weird and experimental time for Bandai back in the early 90s. I mean, you couldn't just paint the eyes on, you made them stickers? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very much glad that they have a plastic covering on them so there aren't any eyeless Hedorah figures out there, but geez. Alright, all that poodiggery aside, look at the beautiful paint here. Yes, it looks crackly. Yes, it's a little on the messed up side, but bro, the way that they freaking blended the mustard and the ketchup, turning into a bit of a mayo, and then into a coppery metallic red. Dude, the paint on this figure is so friggin' good, man. So friggin' good. I especially love what they were doing on the top of Hedorah's head here. Granted, I do wish they had a little bit more of this paint going along the crack up here, but for the most part, man, this is cool. And I do believe the detail only helps with this wild and crazy paint job. We've got little figments of yellow on the side and on the back of Hedorah, but as we get to the whoopee cushion on Hedorah's back, man, Jesus, this just looks like something out of Alien. Like, this is an alien nest on Hedorah's back over here. Swirling and beautiful, coated in different colors, man. This is honestly so very friggin' cool. The way that the metallic copper red, I don't know what to call it, starts in the crack, the fold over here, and then just becomes a gradual yellow. It's such a cool concept. Yeah, I am blowing my load a little early when it comes to the paint. It really does look like Hedorah is this physical manifestation of pollution. They nailed the look and feel of this guy thing. I mean, over here we've got the silver and we've got that metallic magenta copper red. I'm gonna stick with just a bunch of color names there. Yeah, on the other side we've got more of that silver but mixed with the yellow. No two sides of the back look the same at all. And it really is wild and very experimental paint jobs like this that make me miss the Bandai of the early 90s. Don't get me wrong, I love the new movie Monster series version, but as compared to this thing, that one's severely lacking. I mean, even going back to the face over here, the beautiful highlights of yellows on Hedorah's eyelids and even on her eyes overall, it's freaking awesome, dude. And you move further down the body and see more of that silver eventually just melding into the base color, that being black. It's so friggin' good. Granted, the only thing that this figure doesn't have that all the other ones do is paint on the bottom of the arms. But when talking about the top of the arms, though, I love how this one part of each arm is just black, but the rest of it is all silver. I mean, except for a couple of the little droopy tendril fingers. I just love this overall paint and design choice, fam. Now, even though Hedorah's eyes clearly aren't painted on, they're clearly stickers, I gotta say the piercing red is definitely there and in abundance, but the center, the pupils, are definitely being marred by these weird little peg holes on here. Now, I have seen a few listings of this lovely SMOG monster over here where the eyes are yellow, and I thought maybe this was like a limited release somewhere or something, but after a couple hours on Wikizilla, I kind of just deduced that, yeah, the eyes are probably just stickers that faded in the sunlight, turned yellow. Looks cool, don't get me wrong, just decals. That being said, paint is going to get a solid star. Let's move on to detail right quick. Drippy, gooey, and rather disgusting, Hedorah still is a powerhouse of detail. I don't know what exactly they were trying to accomplish here, but I love the detail on the other side of the eyes over here. I love the bulbous opposite sides over here, just looking so very nice. Yet again, drippy, goopy, gooey. The bottoms of the arms almost look skeletal in some way, like a skeleton covered in goo. The bottoms of Hedorah's arms weren't exactly televised news in Godzilla vs. Hedorah, so to see something like this on full display with one of the figures is pretty cool. I really do love how it just looks like Hedorah is this infinite drip, as you could just see it all just slowly seeping down to its feet and just spreading out like that. It's so cool. And you can see more of that little design choice on the side moving into the feet. See how it all just kind of follows and flows over here? Genius! And even though the tail isn't a separate piece, the tail is still included. It is still part of the figure, and it is rather discernible. It's clearly not in scale with the figure, but I do love that it was included. Yes, yes, yes. The crack on top of Hedorah's head kind of looks like a weird Lovecraftian puzzle piece. The stretchy and gooiness all comes to a head at the back over here. And again, this is just really, really nice looking work. Looks like a nest from Aliens, as I said before. Not accurate in the slightest, but cool as all hell for sure. Truly, I just can't get over how awesome this figure looks. Bandai really did have a type back in the day, and their type was weird and fantastical. Yeah, this might not be for everybody, but as a Bandai boy, a Bandai vinyl lover, the detail on this figure is an absolute solid star. Every time I look at my little Hedorah portion on my shelves over here, I big grin. Because I went from having one to now having 1, 2, 5 vinyl Hedorah figures. That's nuts. It's like Jet Jaguar in 2021. From nothing to a bunch. Now, before we move into articulation, I do have some comparisons to make. The first comparison I'm gonna make is to the memorial box version of this figure, as its base color is of this very weird seafoam teal, turquoise, whatever the hell. This is really, really interesting. The yellows are a lot stronger, as are the reds. The silver is still there, but it's on top of this very festive color. I like that a lot, and as far back as I can remember, I don't think I've ever seen this version in my travels online, so this is definitely something I'm going to be keeping my eyes out for, because, dude, this is just weird. And now for a comparison with someone that you're a lot more familiar with. Godzilla Collection Hedorah and Movie Monster Series Hedorah couldn't be more different from one another. Bandai said, we had our fun, now let's knock their friggin' socks off, and knock our friggin' socks off they did. The paint game was brought up to 11, the detail was more accentuated upon. Hedorah actually has a tail with this mold. The glow-up that is present within these two figures is immense, and I love that they kept the original paint job, but just did more with it on this one. The Godzilla Collection Hedorah, as you could say, is the god particle for just really great Hedorah paint jobs. Now let's take a look at the new Movie Monster Series figure. I don't think many would argue when I say that Movie Monster Series 2022 Hedorah is probably the most accurate looking vinyl Hedorah released by Bandai. But when it comes to the paint, they both have their major strong suits, yes. There are absolutely some things that the Movie Monster Series 2022 version is doing that I prefer over the Godzilla Collection version, but damn, man. Movie Monster Series 2022 Hedorah, in terms of paint, kind of skirts the lines of somewhat soulless. Yes, I do absolutely enjoy the brighter colors outfitting the new Movie Monster Series Hedorah, but it's just so machine painted. Like on this Hedorah, we have variation. We see different colors mixing into one another. Here, it really does just look like a program painted this. I know I went over this in my review of the 2022 Movie Monster Series Hedorah, but I just gotta say it here again. There are some things that the 2022 version of Hedorah does better than the two other molds exponentially, but then it's just the paint. I like it. I don't want anybody to think that I don't like this figure. But in terms of my tastes, the paint job on this Hedorah just does it more for me. I love you, Bandai. Please don't hate me. Yeah, that take might be the harder pill to swallow, but at the same time, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I love all my vinyl SMOG babies. Anyway, let's move on to articulation, and this is gonna take like 5 seconds. Godzilla Collection Hedorah features articulation at the arms, and that's pretty much it. Since the tail is part of the mold, there will be no swiveling for that thing. There is nothing at the head. There is obviously nothing at the legs. Hedorah is a brick with 2 knobs you can turn, and that's pretty much it. Upsetting, Maybe. But this was Bandai's genesis, right before their major rise to fame in terms of vinyl Godzilla figures. Plus, yet again, this thing is a bit of a brick, so I really can't see a reason to complain. So I'm gonna give Articulation another solid star. For anybody counting, that's 3 solid stars.
Onward!
Size comparison time, small, medium, large, related. An interesting first vinyl appearance for Hedorah. While a little more solid and basic, the overall build is interesting to say the least. Bandai has come a long way from 1993, and I think this Hedorah, compared to its alternate movie monster series molds, is nothing but a solid and wild example of that. I do so wish Bandai stuck with this kind of paint job though. That new mold with a paint job like this, sweet son of a gun. I was so happy to cop this gal when I could. It was for one hell of a price too. It was like 30 bucks before shipping, and if you've seen the eBay prices for this thing, you know that it can be either really manageable or just friggin' ridiculous. Yeah, the Godzilla collection stuff seems to be going up and down and all around, upside down, bouncing off the ceiling as of late, so you like big vinyl figures, keep an eye out. And to know that I am only just, I believe, one Hedorah figure away from having every Bandai made Hedorah vinyl figure in this scale. It's exciting. Anyway, that's enough out of me. Do so hope you all enjoyed the review. Be sure to support the channel via Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that hullabaloozer. And if you want to further support the channel, you can check out my Patreon page, where $1 gets you access to friggin' everything. To my lovely patrons, thank you all so very much. To my lovely viewers, thank you all so very much. And I will see you all on Wednesday, where, for real this time, I'm going to be talking about this guy. I don't have a clever name lined up for him, so Cole Goji. See you there. Peace.